are you doing?
I don't have time for questions. We've got a gear tasting to do. Nice shot, by the way.
Hey.
All right, we just got in these new PIG gloves from SKD Tactical. These are their Bravo version. So what they've done is they've taken the tried and true Alpha version of their gloves and come out with a fire retardant version in Nomex. So if you're familiar with the old school military flight glove, you'll know that these are kind of a no melt kind of material. So Nomex is made by DuPont. It's also made out of, or flight suits are also made out of it. So aviation crews wear these gloves along with full flight suits in Nomex. So if they have a cabin fire or something like that, it's not going to melt to their skin. So that's basically the requirement for Nomex. And obviously units had reached out to SKD about creating a version of these to meet those requirements in Nomex, so that's why they created the Bravo glove. So it's still got the same great technologies that the Alpha has. One thing that I really like is just the way they fit. That's the biggest thing that I like about the PIG gloves. I mean, there's great things about them. There's just the finger dexterity and things like that. But overall, I've never been able to beat just the feel and the fit of these for a lightweight glove for shooting and things like that. So I really love the PIG Alpha gloves, and the Bravos fit the same way. So I was pretty stoked to know that as well. So a couple of things on the Bravos is the palm is a complete, there's goat and sheep in this glove. So I can't remember which it is. I think it's goat leather on the finger and sheep leather on the palm, but just like the original flight gloves, you can see that they've got a full leather palm like that, and SKD has recreated that on their PIG gloves as well. So this is full leather, and then you've got kind of the more supple leather there on the index finger. And then one thing that SKD has done recently too with their entire PIG line is now started to offer this, I think it's conductive thread. So basically you can use a touch screen like an iPhone and things like that. They also put it on the thumb too. So these new Bravos have that feature. I don't know if they're still offering gloves without it, but I do know that some of their newer versions, you can see I have PIG gloves in just about every damn color. I really like the new gray they came out with too. So you can see that conductive thread is kind of on this pair and this pair, but they've also done that with the Bravo glove. So another thing that's great about gloves from SKD is if you look at the Velcro, they use like a low pile Velcro, so it doesn't stick to things as much. That's sometimes a problem if you're using gloves around your loop Velcro and things like that. So let me go ahead and put one of these on. So again, same great fit. They have a nice pull tab here. Put those on. So again, great dexterity in these. I mean, I've picked up coins on the ground before with them and done other things without any problem. So, and again, just a quick look, PIG Bravo gloves from SKD Tactical. All right, so we got some questions over coffee, and fittingly on, is fittingly a word?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Fitting.
I mean,
very fitting for questions over coffee is a question from Matt from Facebook, who asked, with questions over coffee, I've been wondering what brewing system you prefer. So me personally, I have an espresso machine at home. It also makes Americanos, and that's really what I drink every morning. Kelly also makes coffee out of that in the morning too, so we both drink Americanos. She puts milk in hers, turns it into Girl Scout coffee. I prefer non-Girl Scout coffee. Unless I'm making a cappuccino, I'll usually do that on the weekends or something like that. So that's my Girl Scout coffee that I drink. When I'm at work though, we just have a regular drip coffee machine. It's a Cuisinart that we got because it had a dual feature, which was being able to brew hot water for tea too, because sometimes we drink tea up here. But it's a piece of crap, and the coffee machine works better than the hot water. So again, it's one of those, you know, you hope you're buying something for dual use and it turns out to suck. But so we have this for heating up hot water, and that's kind of how we do tea. And then Rob brought his old Keurig in here. We still haven't got Keurig cups for this, so it's just kind of sitting around not doing anything right now. But that's what we used to use at home before I kind of got into the espresso machine thing. We used to use Keurig, and now I will never go back to that. Tastes like crap, just between us. And actually Rob moved away from that too, which is why he brought that up here, and he brought his AeroPress in so I could talk about that too. So he uses an AeroPress. He uses the inverted method, which is dumping your grounds and your hot water in here and then putting this together the way they don't recommend, and then letting it sit, and this is to stir, then inverting it on your coffee cup and pressing it down. So this is a great thing to use when you're in the great outdoors, things like that. So he's brought it in a couple times here and made coffee out of it, and I really like it. I just haven't picked one up myself. So that's AeroPress. So yeah, basically we just try to switch out different coffees that we're drinking out of the drip machine here at work. I don't know. I've considered getting a espresso machine for work, but I really don't want to go there yet. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. We've got the drip coffee, and then AeroPress for when we want to sample the finer things in life. So thanks for the question, Matt. Questions over coffee. Okay, so next question on gear tasting is, what ear pro and eye pro do you recommend? Have you tried any in-ear protection? Comes from Cody A on Twitter. So first, let's kind of go over in-ear protection, because that's kind of what you mentioned in your comment first. But so I've gone back and forth between electronic hearing protection and non-electronic hearing protection. That's kind of how I break it down personally. So what that means is that with standard electronic hearing protection, you've got an electronic device that's inside your ear pro that not only amplifies the sound, voices and things like that, but it actually turns off the amplification and cuts the noise to your ears whenever loud noises happen like gunfire. So that's what these Sordens do that I have, and this is what I've been using for quite a while, and I've actually talked about these before on gear tasting. But you know, you can turn up and down the volume, you can turn it off and on, that type of thing, and then there's a NATO down lead and comms setup to route to comms, and I think we went over that in the last episode or a couple before then. But at any rate, so that's kind of the electronic hearing protection. That's kind of, in my opinion, kind of the gold standard. You've got your Peltors and your Sordens. Those are kind of the two top brands when it comes to electronic hearing protection, and kind of the upper echelon of ear pro electronic wise. And then as you kind of move down the scale, you've got kind of like your Howard Lates, I think there's another Peltor, I think it's the 6S, things like that. That's kind of the less expensive route to go, whereas these are probably in the neighborhood of 250 plus to get a pair of these. There is cheaper electronic hearing protection out there, like I mentioned, Howard Late. Sorden does have a cheaper version. It's not as cheap as the Peltor 6S, I think, if I'm saying that right, or the Howard Lates, but they do make a version that doesn't have the comms lead setup like this. That's a little cheaper. So anyway, that's kind of the upper echelon spectrum, so to speak, of electronic hearing protection when it comes to that. But real quick, I will mention I wrap this with Battle Systems tape, and that's just kind of how I keep the wire together. As you can see, it kind of sticks up and it gets in the way. So this is the way I'd run it if I was going to run it inside a helmet. So the helmets from OpsCore have removable interior pieces like this, and that comm setup actually rides right between those two pads in the middle there, and then it tucks behind these on each side. So you can kind of retain your electronic hearing protection in the helmet. As you're taking the helmet off and on, your comms would stay with it. So, and then just since I'm talking about the helmet and we're talking about hearing protection, I also have these small ear pro devices mounted on either side of my helmet on the inside. Mil-Spec Monkey makes these, and this is kind of my backup hearing protection. That way I don't have to carry anything extra on me, so if my comms decide to shit the bed, so to speak, I can just basically put these on and run those. So that looks like is that I can just grab behind here, run these little nifty lanyards, put them right in my ears, and then they have little push button actuators to tuck those right back in. So that's what I like to wear. I'm a big fan of these. I think Mil-Spec Monkey still sells them. It's been a few years since they came out with them, so I'm not quite positive on that, but definitely check those out as well. So that's kind of my backup for my electronic hearing protection when I'm running a helmet. And then you kind of get into the in-ear stuff that's non-electronic. So on the basic level, you've got foamies, and foamies never fit my ears right. I've kind of got a genetically superior ear canal, so I can't fit these. My ear canal doesn't go straight in like most people's. It actually curves up. So I've always struggled with foamies. It makes me better in the water though, so you know, go figure. And then, so to combat that, the first ones that I ever found that I could use that actually fit were kind of the old GI earplugs. So with these, you take the case off and your ear pro fits into this little retainer, and that actually gives you the rigid surface to kind of insert those in your ears. And that helped me out because, you know, these are flexible and I could never get those in my ear correctly. So that was kind of the first ear pro that I found that worked well for me. Then I kind of found the Surefire Sonic Defenders. These are great too. I have a couple of pairs of these. They're great. They're not necessarily as rigid, but because of the general design and kind of how they curve up already, they just fit my ears really well as the kind of in-ear retention that has. So it kind of cups the inside of your ear there. And then I've also recently picked up a couple pairs of these. I found these used on eBay, but they look kind of cool too, so I wanted to check these out. But these are called Combat Arms earplugs, and I just got these. So this is kind of a rigid surface too. So I actually found that these are really good for inserting into my ear canal too. They have this little picture of a gun, and you rotate this little dial here, I guess for different audible things, and I'd have to read the directions. I already read them once, but I forgot what the difference was. So the rotating selector is, so there's a combat setting, and sorry, I don't want to, yeah, so steady noise is the gun away, so this would be your steady noise like a construction site, and then the gun pointing towards your ear would be for gunfire. So it opens up a little opening in the edge of the ear canal there, so, or the hearing protection. So those are just a couple of examples of hearing protection. I will mention too on the Sordens, if I'm not running this in a helmet, I will put a hearing protection cover on it. So these are made by SKD Tactical. We carry these in the ITS store if you're interested. And these are, in my opinion, the best hearing protection covers out on the market right now. They fit really well. They're designed specifically for different models of hearing protection. And I'll have to move my comm setup out of the way, but I will show you how these work. So basically these just wrap over the comms, like so. So what's nice is they not only provide a padded area in here with this Drylex material, but they have a little Velcro, or sorry, loop band at the top if you want to stick a, you know, morale patch or a name tape or something like that on there to identify your comms. But then they also have this nice little belt lanyard too, so you can hang that on your gear if you want to hang your comms, or you can hang them on, you know, a wall or whatever have you. So definitely check those out. store.itstactical.com if you're interested in picking up the SKD Tactical hearing protection covers. Right now we've got them in multicam, coyote, and black, but there are other colors available as well. We just don't have them right now. So that's that's the ear pro discussion. You also mentioned eye pro. And I think I will save that for a future gear tasting. So next time I will talk about iPro, since that's kind of also a long-winded discussion. All right, so thanks for watching Gear Tasting, where we show you what we're up to and currently evaluating in ITSA quarters, as well as answer your questions on our episodes. So to get your question, just make sure you use the pound tag Gear Tasting on any of these social media outlets, and we will find it and get your question on the next episode. Thanks for watching.